to work today on trying to teach Standardbreds how to canter with riders on their back, because most Standardbreds can, not most, but many can canter without riders, but we're going to work on today seeing if we can teach these horses to canter with riders on their back. That's going to be our work. So this horse's name is Jezebella. She's a 7-year-old trotter. It's unusual to find a trotter in this country. They're mostly pacers. Trotters are in the minority now. So she's going to have a better tendency to have that canter rhythm we talked about with the diagonal pair matching, because trotters, that's the way their legs move. But the limit that this horse is going to be limited because she's had some injuries from the racetrack. So if you look at her hind legs, she has a lot of scarring on her hind legs, and that all shows me that she had stress there when she was young. So, and that's maybe the why she didn't continue racing past 3. So her vet recommended that she not do any jumping, real jumping. I mean, not like probably hopping over a few of those cavalettis, but not jumping 3 or 4 feet tall jumping. So we've been limiting how much she does over those poles and over those jumps that we've done. So this horse, it's going to restrict somewhat how we're going to train her to canter. So, but she does show a tendency to canter. So when she runs around in the arena, she does like to run around, which is good. So it's like, hey, look at that horse canter. So anytime at the beginning when I'm working with the horses, if they show any tendency, even if I'm asking them to do something totally different, I usually say, good horsey, because if I say stop it, they're going to learn yet again that they're not supposed to do it. And they've already been told that at the racetrack. So anytime they do it by accident, I usually try to put whatever sound I'm going to put with it. So I usually say canter. And so every time she does it, I say it even though she didn't do it because I said so, and hope that she connects that sound with what she's actually doing at that moment with her legs. So that's our first, do they do it naturally? Then can we encourage them to do it? And then can we give them cues to do it? So that's our how we build into it. Once we can give them cues to do it, then we can add a rider, and can they do it carrying weight on their backs? And then we start adding on more requirements. How small a circle can they canter? Can they steer more? Are they more agile or not? So this mare has just started a little bit of cantering on her with a rider on her back. So we're going to warm her up. So we're going to warm her up without a rider, and then see if we can add one on as we go. A round pen is ideal if you have one. If it's not, next best thing is an enclosed area like this, so you at least have corners and a fence, a boundary on the outside that can help steer them around. Hardest thing is to be just out in an open space, like with a line on them, because every time they get confused and don't know where they're supposed to go, you're going to end up pulling on the line and pulling them off balance. So we're trying our best not to pull them off balance. So this long lining is like this horse is at the phase where she can steer a little bit and canter barely. So this is a way to practice it, because I have a line on each side just like I'm riding her. And then eventually when I get on her back, this would help her to adjust to the steering and the rider's weight. All right, Curly, walk on. Walk on. Right there. Giraffe. Right here, again, if this horse went off cantering and was fresh and silly, I'd say good horsey, because she at least, she went. So right here, good girlie. So I said, that's not what I'm asking her to do, but I'm pushing her to go faster. So if that's her natural reaction, bottom line is that's what I want her to do eventually. So I'll try to morph that into something I'm asking her to do instead of something she's just doing randomly. Good girlie, canter. Good job, mare. Rut. So I'm basically saying what she's, putting a sound to what she's doing, as opposed to absolutely telling her what to do right now. I'm trying to, we don't know how much horses' brains work really, but they do react to sounds. I said they don't speak English, we don't speak horse. If I say it louder, it doesn't make her understand it. So it's literally trying to keep my sounds the same, see if she connects that to my body language and the pressure I'm putting on her. All right, now you ready? Canter. Good girlie. Good job, mare. Canter. Rut. Well, I guess we can't. Good girl. Good job, mare. True rut. Good girl. Canter. Canter. If I can push her a little. Good girly. Good job, mare. So right now, she's actually cantering and I'm still steering her a little bit, so she's figuring out that she can turn and canter at the same time. Anyone who rides an arena knows they have to have a horse that can steer, or hopefully they have a horse that can steer. But often we have to be more precise when we're in an arena. Canter. Good girly. You're all right. She wants to do cartwheels. I'm not going to care about it. I'm just going to try to get her back in focus again. Does it? You ready? Canter. Canter. Good girl. Canter. Good girly. You're all right. Yeah, silly girl. Silly horses are better for cantering. Do it in the winter time when they're fresh. Whoa. Hang on. Before they run off on you. This is why we do it in an enclosed area. Ready, mare? Canter. Yeah, you're all right. Canter. You're all right. You're all right. Good girl. Good girl. And walk. And walk. All right, so she can canter. I'm going to do one more phase in this long lining. Since this horse has plenty of energy right now. So this phase we're saying she's learning how to canter and steer. If I can't hold her and convince her to steer, then she doesn't learn to steer. So I've just added a little tool to give me a little more advantage because she outweighs me by 10. So I've just put the long line through her bit and hooked it to the buckle on the girth. So it gives me a little bit of an advantage if she wants to pull away from me. It's going to keep her looking a little bit more towards me. All right, girly, ready? Good job, girly. There you go. Good girly. Sure, rut. Good mare. Sure, rut. There you go. Trot mare. Trot mare. Trot mare. Long lining, you have more control, meaning you can control the fast and slow because you have a rein on each side. Lunging, not so much. Lunging, you can keep them from running off the circle, but you don't have the control that you would have in long lines. Trot mare. Good girl. Ready? Good job. I think she's learned that ready is my word instead of canter. Canter. Yeah, get up, get up, get up, get up. Cantering has to go somewhere. Good job, girly. Good job. You're all right. You're all right. Good girly. Good job, mare. True rut. True rut. And walk. And walk. And walk. And ho. Ho. Come here. All right, so now we're going to get our brave rider to climb up here. Okay, I tightened it once, but where do you want to go again? So this is the phase where you need a brave helper because we already saw what this horse could do. The fact that she's bouncy and a little excessively bouncy, I said a lot of people would think that was bad, and I'm looking at bounce going like, cool, she's up in the air. So, but that's where you got to be willing to use that energy or try to channel that energy and not to discourage that energy. So the lighter the rider, the better. Deb's job is...
I'll use my reins when I have you see,
I've taken the reins out from the throat latch, so the rider should always have reins. Even though I have reins, that's the extra safety measure, is that she can stop the horse if she feels uncomfortable or needs to control it. There's a strap on the front of the saddle where this line runs right in front of the saddle. That's another thing that the rider can use to hold on for security. Again, our goal is not to interfere with this horse too much if we can help it, but we also want to be safe. So Debbie's job is to stay on the horse. This horse's job is to be polite and do what I ask her. And we're trying to blend the two things together. So I said the lighter the rider at the beginning, it's helpful, but the more skilled they are, the better. All right, so we're going to just trot a little bit, get her used to the idea that now she has a rider to balance herself with. So at the very first phase, again, she doesn't necessarily know what the rider's cue is. And the rider's cue, again, would be timing when she pushes, the human pushes her leg against the horse's belly to coordinate with when the horse's leg is ready to push off. So in this case, in the direction we're going in, Debbie would be bringing her right leg back, because as we're talking about in the canter is started by the hind legs and it's started by the outside leg on the turn. So in this case, it's the right hind leg that's going to start this horse cantering, that's naturally how it will start. So we're trying to teach her that when the rider asks that leg to move forward, that's when she would start cantering. So we're going to do a combination of me saying the exact same sounds I was saying all along, and Debbie putting her leg on the horse's side at the same time, so she connects those two things together. All right, Deb, well, next time we're near the gate, okay? All right, so we're going to prepare. Leg already back. Jessie, ready? Canter. Good girl. Yeah, that's all right. Good effort. Yeah, we pat. With literally putting a rider on her back totally has changed what she's going to do. So she has to figure this out all over again. All right, Mare, you ready? Trot. And we ride for effort. You know, a few strides is an effort. 4 more strides is an effort, till finally she can do multiple strides together. It's like anything else. Physical therapy, you don't do 200 repetitions, you do 5 and build up as you go. So this is like physical therapy for the horse. All right, next time, only because I wasn't ready. Good job, girly. Drop, Mare. Jess, you ready? Mare, canter. Canter. Yeah. But this horse that was airborne all of a sudden is very flat. So that's just what happens. I said when we sit on top of them. Good girly. Okay, gonna try again. Ready, Mare? Canter. Canter. And see, she naturally wants to lift her head up, and we're trying to teach her to lift her back up. So this rein that's on the inside is to encourage her not to throw herself in the air with her head in the air, because that makes her back stay flatter. So it's just, again, a combination of her learning how to do it her way and us trying to teach her how to do it our way. All right, next time. Ready, Mare? Okay, girly. Canter. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good job, Mare. Good girl. Super. Yes, good girl. Big pats. Good job, girly. Super girly. So she needed to use her neck a little differently to start, but then she kind of figured out that she could do it with the reins with her neck down lower. Gives the rider more control. Her nose in the air is a little reverting back to being a racehorse. It's reverting back to I'm in charge of my life and I can go where I want. So her putting her head down and doing what we call accepting the bit helps give the rider control, but also helps get her muscle memory a little more the way we want it, for her to be using her muscles differently for jumping higher into the air. All right, we're going to do one more, and if she's good, even if she's not good, we may do one more and give her a pat. So again, you only might do 3 or 4 of these in a session, and then you stop and go. You know, some horses just get very agitated and upset, and their trot gets all nervous, and so again, you have to balance what's good for their mind as well as what's good for their body. Right, just trot. Good job, girlie. Nice mare. And as you notice, we're doing it in the same spot each time, so that becomes part of her cue at the beginning. Ready, mare? Canter. Good girlie, you're all right. Yeah. And she's looking to run across this ring, and we're looking to keep her on the circle. She's like, no fair, I'll just gallop across. That looks like fun. So us working on her steering, otherwise this helps prevent this horse from just careening. Except if you're brave and you want to careen around the ring, you can. But no thank you is right. All right, here we go, girlie. Ready, girlie? Canter. Good girl. But see, her very first step, she almost expects someone to stop her. She lifts up her head like someone's going to pull back on the reins and stop her. So do one more time, Devin. Put both hands on the strap if you can. Yeah, because there's a little bit, it's hard because they bound up and it's really hard not to catch them. I mean, it is. You're going like, I don't want to do that again. So that's why it takes this courage to let them do what they have to do to get it done. Okay, this time. Ready, girlie? Canter. Ha! Yeah, that's all right. Stay right there. Good. Stay right there. You have nothing to do with it. Just her carrying a rider. That's my whip's caught. Yeah, but that's all right. But that's actually a little better. So because then, no matter how we instinctively, we think we're not doing it, it's really, really hard not to pull back. So you either grab mane, you put a strap on your saddle. If you have a Western saddle, you grab the horn. Sometimes we'll put a strap like old stirrup leather on their necks, like you're practicing jumping. So you just don't want to give them any reason to think it was the wrong thing to do. Because I said she already thinks that from what she was taught when she was younger. So we want to say anything she does, as long as it's not dangerous, is a good thing. Good job, girlie. Good job, mare. Very good girl. How are you? Yes, good job, girlie. Good girl. All right, so I'm going to turn her loose. I'm going to have Debbie just ride around. So we do a little bit of that, and then we just let her do something easier. So she doesn't think every single day when we tack her up, this is going to be really hard and really stressful. And there you go. So now she can just go for a little walk.